So I'm going to do a video basically about Ayurvedic self-checks. I kind of made this concept up myself from my learning, and what it is particular things to look out for in your own body on a daily basis that indicate something. And what you can do is you can observe what these are and then learn something, and also maybe adjust your eating and your daily habits according to that. So the first one I'm going to talk about is involves checking the digestion. Okay, now how do we do this? We start looking firstly at the tongue. If your tongue has a heavy coating, like a white coating, then you know that there are some toxins in the gut. And the Ayurvedic text would advise not to consume food when there is the presence of ama on the tongue. Now, I know this isn't always ideal, but it's something to just generally watch out for. If you're not feeling too well, have a quick look at your tongue and you might notice that there's a high level of ama on it. In this case, I would advise to skip the meal that you may be about to eat. So you may not even have an appetite, but generally I would advise for you to just fast for 1 or 2 hours at least, if you're not feeling too well and there's a heavy coating on the tongue. And then you can sort of build up that digestive fire in order to be able to burn that ama up and then consume food properly. So be really careful with fasting, by the way. I don't want to advocate this. It's something that you have to seek advice from a practitioner about. The second thing I want to talk about is related to the digestion is your stool. Okay, so in the morning or whenever you take to go to the toilet, you can check this. And there's many things around the stool that you can have a look at if you wish. I would personally take the major things of, is it loose or is it formed or is it dry? Because then you kind of have an idea, constipated or loose motions, because generally it's going to indicate a vata-pitta imbalance. If there's any partially undigested food in the stool, it shows that your body's not digesting the food properly, which could be a weak digestive fire. Okay, the colour is also an indication of something, so a dark colour would indicate vata in the colon, and a more lighter colour is pitta, and a more greyish tone to the stool would be kapha. And there's many other things to consider with the stool, which with a practitioner would go through with you in a consultation. But it's just something to generally just start becoming aware of, okay? And then thirdly, I mentioned it before, was the appetite, which is related to digestion. Have you got an appetite? Okay, if you haven't got an appetite, it might show something. So just bring this awareness before you eat. You know, am I actually hungry? Is it true hunger? And then you can tell whether or not it is, because it could be psychological eating, and also you might be habitual, which isn't good. So if you don't have that appetite, it might mean that your digestive fire is not strong enough to digest the food. The next one I'll mention is temperature. So do you feel hot or cold? So if you're feeling quite cold, it could indicate a bit of circulation problems, mostly related to vata imbalance, especially when it's in the hands and feet. And if you're feeling quite hot, then it's going to be a pitta imbalance. It could be some sort of fever. So always check your body temperature, and you can adjust yourself and follow the guidance of pacifying it. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the mind. So when you wake up or whenever you do something, have a check-in with how your mind is. Like, is it super busy? Are there loads of thoughts? Is it quite slow? Are you being indecisive? Because these things can actually show something. So if there's a lot of thoughts and emotions, it could be like vata-pitta imbalance. If it's quite slow and foggy, it could be indicate a kapha imbalance. Okay, so always check in with the mind. And then lastly, something to always look at is your skin. So is your skin feeling dry? Is it feeling oily? And then from that, you can also tell whether there's an imbalance going on. So vata imbalance would indicate probably more dry skin, and a pitta imbalance would be more oily. So there's many other parts of the body that we can check, according to what Ayurveda would say indicates something. But these are just a few things that I feel like you can do on a daily basis that can really help you adjust your day to help it run smoother and prevent any disorder from going a bit further. So if you want more information about this, or if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, you can contact me through my website and my email address, which is at the end of this video, and I'm sure we can talk through and have a consultation. Thank you for listening.